Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Kingdom. Welcome back to another video. If the Optic Dynasty, Crim, Karma, Formal, and Scump were still together in Black Ops 4, who would you add as their fifth player? That's the question for the comments today. We were in the stream last night, and I asked that question of my chat, and it became this hour-long conversation. And so I put it on Twitter last night, and now today there's like 70 responses, and the most common are Dashy, TJ, Simp, Abizi, Priesta, and Envoy. And then some people said they would keep Octane. The answers are all over the place, and now people are talking about different roles. Who would you make the fifth of the Optic Gaming Dynasty? Today, this video, it's interesting because I always want to share my perspective on something, and I honestly am kind of puzzled as to what I think in regards to what was revealed today. So on the screen, you can see this article that was on the Call of Duty League website. It's an interview with Prestinni, and the title of the interview is, "I don't need my brother to win." And basically this part of the article that I extrapolated sums up what the article is about. And it's Prestinni saying, I don't need Alec. He's not saying I don't love Alec. He's not saying I didn't have fun playing with Alec. But he's basically saying, as long as I played with Alec, I was always kind of under his shadow and nobody could see me shine, and I want to shine. But simultaneously, today, the Eavesdrop podcast interview of Arcitys, aka Alec, was released, and one of the first things Arcitys says is he believes that this year that him and Preston are going to regret not playing together. And if you don't know them, Arcitys is with the Chicago Huntsmen. He's the twin brother, 10 minutes older than Prestinni, who's on the screen right now. They both played for E United last year, went back-to-back, won playoffs and champs, and I don't believe they would have won without either of them. There was some matches where Prestinni just fried at champs, and I don't believe they would have won champs without either of those players. And individually, they're both extremely talented. Some people are saying that Arcitys is one of the top 3 players in Modern Warfare in this game that we're playing right now. And if you watched the event last weekend at Minnesota, you saw Prestinni do things that really we haven't seen Prestinni do before because we've been paying so much attention to all of his teammates. And while I do think that they're both going to have a good year, I'm honestly kind of puzzled as to should they have stayed together or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like Hector. The first thing Heck said is he said that when Scump let him know that Arcitys wanted to join Chicago, Heck's first thought was, well, what about his brother? What about his twin brother? What about Preston? And you hear the story. I mean, go watch the Eavesdrop podcast. It is a must watch, the Eavesdrop podcast today. And you hear the story of these two brothers who basically, Preston was the one that was playing Call of Duty first, and Alec was playing football, got hurt, joined Preston playing Call of Duty, and they just grinded until they turned 18, and then they tried to play with Gunless, and they kept playing with Gunless, and now that's one of the reasons why Arcitys and Gunless live together, because they're actually good friends. They've been playing together for years. And they stayed together, and there were moments where they almost separated, but the one time they separated went to an event. Arcitys' team beat Preston, and then Preston realized how good Arcitys was. And I wonder if it's like this, because he is the little brother, even though they're twins. I wonder if it's this thing inside of Preston that's just like, I started doing this first, and all of a sudden, you became the better brother. And you became almost like the big brother, and I needed you to win, and everybody is convinced that I needed you to win. And now, one of the things that Arcitys does say that is interesting is he talks about how him and Prestinni didn't like that at the end of champs last year, it was the Tiny Terrors, Clay, and the twins. And it wasn't Prestinni and Arcitys and Abizi and Simp and Clayster. It was Clayster, the twins, and the Tiny Terrors. And it was like Clayster got this individual shine, but the twins didn't get this individual shine. And he's like, so we both kind of want this. But he said very blatantly. And Hector asked him, wait, so you're saying you think you're going to regret it? And he was like, yeah, I think that me and Preston are going to regret not playing together. And I kind of want to know what you guys think, because I'm honestly in a place where I'm like, well, I mean, even if you regret it, it's kind of like people say the greatest risk is not taking one. I think this is a worthwhile risk for them. Now, here's the funny thing. While Prestinni is saying he really wants to beat Alec and really wants to beat the Chicago Huntsmen, and he's going to play as hard as freaking possible whenever they see each other, they're not in the same group until May 9th of this year. May 9th, when everything goes back to Minnesota. Now, they're at their same events a couple times, but what would have to happen is they both have to make it out of group play and then end up playing each other in the lower bracket. And this is just the way that franchising works. Like, I want to see these guys play right now. Like, I want to see, because scrims, I'm not going to count. I want to see them play on LAN, like, right now. I wish that they could just plan a little private LAN and play against each other, because we have to wait till May that's a guaranteed match against those two teams. Guaranteed. They're in the same group and they play each other first match of the weekend. Like, I want to see that match Saturday, 11 a.m., but we have to wait till May 9th to get a guaranteed match between these two twins. And it's going to be a doozy. And I wonder, like, we're seeing a different side of both of these guys. Like, Prestinni's kind of coming out of his shell and being his own person and being very vocal about the fact that he doesn't want to play with Alec and he doesn't need to play with Alec to win. But we also saw a different version of Arcitys in Minnesota. We saw like a more kind of like, man, Dallas, they just need to stop talking. They're doing all that chirping online. And like, we saw a different version of Arcitys as well without his brother. But I guess as I listen to Arcitys talk about the potential of regret, what that says to me in my mind is that he misses him already. He already misses Preston. And when Hector asked him, like, well, why would you regret it? And he's just like, well, because we're not going to get to see each other very much. Like, he's in Florida and I'm in Dallas, and we are not at all the same events, so we're not going to get to see each other at every event. Like, it's interesting to me that basically it sounds like they want to not play together, but they also don't want to not, or they want to play together. It's really, it's rough. And with the new schedule that we have, there's going to be full events where they're just not going to see each other because one of them's going to go to London and the other one's not, or one of them's going to go to Atlanta and the other one's not, or one of them's going to go to LA and the other one's not. And it just is really, it is kind of unfortunate because I did not know their story. And after watching that podcast and reading this interview of Preston, I'm really intrigued as to why the twins would split. So you guys let me know, what do you think? What is your opinion of Arcitys and Prestinni? And do you think the Florida Mutineers can beat Chicago? Most people didn't see Dallas beating Chicago, or didn't see Chicago beating Dallas this last weekend, but it was almost a guarantee because of how bad Scump and Formal wanted to beat Krim. Do you think that Prestinni's desire to beat and play his best against his brother, do you think he's going to come out with some GOAT-like performance when they play, and Florida actually has a chance? This is the kind of stuff that makes me excited about our league, is these kind of storylines, like knowing player histories. And I appreciate Hex and the interviews that he does. I'm going to start doing those again soon on my channel, but I appreciate Hex and the interviews that he does, and I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be streaming tonight, and I'm probably going to do a long stream tomorrow. When I stream tonight, I'm probably going to bring this up, and we're going to chat about it. So if you guys want to join us, twitch.tv/kingdom_soldier. I'll be streaming late in the evening, and last night we just kind of talked about Call of Duty, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of interesting conversations just talking about they want me to compile the top 25 players of all time, and we started talking top 10, and would John be in the top 10, and it was just a really fun stream. And so hopefully you guys can join us tonight. I really don't know where I stand on this, guys. I normally, when I make videos, I always want to make a point, and I don't have a point in this video. I really don't. I don't want to judge these guys, and I don't feel like I have the right to, because I think that it's healthy to try to not be together. But Alec talked about times in his life when he was low and depressed and he needed to be around Preston, and so that homesickness sometimes can be created when you're a twin. You can just be homesick because you're not around your brother. And I just wonder if that's going to exist this year. It sounds like for Prestinni, he's going to be fine. Like, he's like, no, I have something to prove. But Arcitys, all he wants to prove is that he's one of the best players to ever play competitive Call of Duty. He wants to go back-to-back and get 2 rings. He wants to have more rings than Karma. He wants to have more championships than Krim. Like, Arcitys wants to be the GOAT. But he can do that with or without his brother. It's not really about not being with his brother. But Preston definitely... And I like that Arcitys didn't kind of harp on Preston and say, well, he doesn't want to play with me. That's not what he said. He made it about the 2 of them wanting to have some individual shine. And I think that's healthy. So it's going to be interesting. I do think that Prestinni is one of the best players on his team. And Florida, it's kind of an unpredictable space. It depends on who they play, and who's in their group and who's at the event that they're at. They do have an opportunity to win an event this year. I need to, I guess, keep doing my team profiles so I can talk about my predictions for these teams throughout the year. But, I mean, of course, I'm predicting Chicago to have multiple championships or homestead wins. I don't know what we're calling it this year. We need to debate that. Like, that's another thing we can probably talk about tonight on the stream. Like, are these championships or not? I'll add that to the list. Nevertheless, this is your boy Kingdom. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.